Okay, so it's part three. Remember, I have to make these videos in like 5 or 6 minute clips because they're giving me a hard time about uploading it. It takes like an hour to upload a 10 minute clip, and I've uploaded these 5 minute clips in like 15 minutes or so. So it's much different. So I'm just gonna do it this way because nobody is helping me. So I'm so okay. So we left off on the basket. Okay, your basket and your kneading dough, excuse me, your kneading trough will be cursed. The fruit of your womb will be cursed, and the crops of your land and the calves of your herds and the lambs of your flocks. So your vineyard, right, what you cultivate, you won't have righteousness and justice. Your children won't be righteous or just. Righteousness is synonymous with godliness and holiness. They won't be holy. They won't be blessed by God. They won't be bound for heaven. They'll be hell bound. Hey, God is extremely serious. What Jesus did was give a last chance as a character in the story. He went there to try to make intercession at that point. At when? At that point. And the gospel is preached around the world and says, change your behavior, right? Repentance must be accompanied by making amends and atonement and doing the right thing. Now here I am in the end, and time is up. I come back and surprise you like a thief in the night, except, you're being handed over to the wicked. And you're supposed to scramble to obey God through me. And you know that that's what you're supposed to do because it's universal, pinpointed, moral precision is my argument. And there's a reason why a king wears a sword. It is wrong to pretend that magically you shouldn't follow me. Obviously, you should. It is retarded. It is retarded to think that you should cheat me out of my right to lead. And then play stupid about the significance of martial arts when Christ said he's the root and offspring of David and the bright morning star, which is the sun, which in Psalm 19 is referred to as a symbol of the bridegroom and the champion, right? It is said to be like, and we see in the pattern in the Bible that things are like that. They're being used by that as like a code, right? Where wisdom is compared to gold and insight to silver. And we see when we use it that way, it lines right up. Okay, when you use it that way to interpret the times that gold and silver are being used. The same thing with the crops in the vineyard. Okay, it's the pattern, it's the speech, it's the language of the Bible. And we see the prostitute in Revelation is sitting on many waters, and the waters symbolize the peoples, the nations, the multitudes, the languages. So people who act like that these things don't symbolize this aren't speaking the same language as I am, and they're not worshiping the same God, and they're not living a godly life. Okay, they're actually chasing money and social control and silly things of fools like that. Okay. You will be cursed when you come in and cursed when you go out. The Lord will send on you curses, confusion, and rebuke in everything you put your hand to until you are destroyed and come to sudden ruin because of the evil you have done in forsaking him. Okay, so what is one of the curses? Confusion. Why? Because when you do the wrong thing, okay, your conscience is interfered with. If you develop a mind that blanks out doing the wrong thing, then you will suffer certain consequences, right? You'll be confused because in order to move through life masterfully and understand why you're here and understand what to do, you need mental clarity. And mental clarity is synonymous with moral clarity and romantic clarity. If you're truly romantic by default, you're moral and you see things clearly, right? Consent versus prosent, and descent versus descent into hell. You see what I'm saying? So, moral, mental, spiritual, and romantic clarity are the same thing. When you do the wrong thing and break the commands of God, when you don't keep the greatest commandment, which would by default lead you to move masterfully in life, okay? If you pretend whatever you think is love in your heart is loving God. For example, the female in the movie Clueless, Alicia Silverstone, she didn't understand what love is. In fact, in real life, she doesn't understand what love is either. So if you're not living your life in righteousness and justice, you don't have love that's derived from righteousness and justice. Therefore, you don't have love from God. So if you're not righteous and just, by default, you're breaking the greatest commandment. So anyone who truly loves in a way that's derived from righteousness and justice is of God. And that's how we know they're of God. Not just somebody who says that they have love. Not some shallow person who says, no, I have love. We know they have love because they really have it in their heart and they're willing to die, and they're not putting on some theater act. There's tons of people who pretend they're willing to die for this and that. They said they'd rather die than accept the mark, and I've never met a single person who said that actually meant it. And the ultimate